guys, so I just received this package and I'm so excited to open this. You're going to join me while I open this, and hopefully I will be able to do some tests with this. I'm so excited. Yay! Yay! Oh! Yay! Brushes! Whoa! Come on! Wow! Finally, I have been wanting to try this wash paint for so long, and I blame Gretel Lusky for this because she was the one that made me want to buy this with all her jelly wash painting. So this is on you, Gretel. I blame you. I can't wait to try this. I will have to open this and do some swatches. To sort these colors into an order that I actually like, and let's see what other I can do. Okay, I think I'm going to stick to this order. Pinto, mira! Mira, mira, mira. No se comen. Okay, let's open this one. Woohoo! First one. And it goes right here. Ooh. So I just finished. This was a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie, this was so difficult and so stressful. But finally I have all these opened, and now I'm going to do some swatches, maybe trying some of these brushes. I'm going to use the leftover paint to do some swatches because I don't want to have all this painting gone to waste. And one thing that I did was I used Q-tips to try to clean the edges of these little cups. So this was helpful, and this was a total mess, but it looks really pretty. but I don't have time to try them out in a painting today, but hopefully I will be able to do that tomorrow or during the weekend, so stay tuned. I'm going to do that soon. Hi guys, welcome to a little voiceover while I paint this background. I was going to paint a character, but I decided to go with something more simple because I struggle a lot painting people with traditional art, and backgrounds have always been kind of a comfort zone for me. If you want, one day I can show you some older background studies I made. When I first started painting with jelly wash, I'm not gonna lie, I was hating it so much because I wasn't able to get the paint to look the way I wanted. That's because I have been painting a lot with acrylic wash lately, and with those paints you need as little paint as possible and the painting glides more smoothly than the jelly wash. Jelly wash feels super thick in comparison, and I was making the mistake of trying to paint the same way I usually do with my acrylic wash, which is thinning the paint almost like watercolors and working with thin layers. These paints need you to use more quantity and less water, otherwise it gets kind of difficult to work with them. Another thing that I noticed is how good the round brush is for this type of paint. If you haven't noticed, I mostly use a flat brush for all my drawings, but since the paint is thick, having a firm brush made it really difficult to glide the paint. Luckily, the round brush it comes with, it's super great. It made my process much better when I switched to that brush because I was seriously struggling and considering ripping apart the page if it wasn't because I have a drawing that I actually like on the back of it. One thing that is awesome about wash is that you can paint from dark to light instead of going from light to dark like you usually do with watercolors. Well, you can actually paint however you want with them because truly, these paints are super opaque. Except for the yellow and the bright green though. Those colors are not as pigmented as the other ones, which sucks because this kit only comes with one yellow and the only one it has it's not really good, to be honest. When I paint backgrounds, I like to start painting with the elements in the back and slowly transition to the elements on the front. I don't know why, it's easy for me this way, and I guess it makes sense to do it this way because if you start painting from the foreground elements, it will be kind of tricky to paint the rest then. using colored pencils. I was thinking of adding markers, but I didn't know how would this paint would react to them. I have used colored pencils on top of mediums like this, and they work like a charm. The Prismacolor pencils work the best though, because they are more creamy than polychromos and those feel super waxy in comparison. Happy with how this drawing turned out, but considering it was my first time using these paints and how much I struggled, I can't complain. It was a good practice in the end. It's time for round 2. Before starting this painting, I took the time to analyze what was that I didn't like about my previous attempt. The first thing that I tried to do is not work with the colors as saturated as they are on the palette. That was part of the reason the colors looked like a radioactive mess instead of having a more natural look. The next thing that I tried to do is to simplify as much as I could. I'm talking about shapes and colors. One mistake I make time and time again doing backgrounds is trying to detail every single part of the drawing, but it's not necessary to do so. Sometimes one tends to get lost in the details, but with scenery, sometimes details make this scene look more unnatural, so you have to be very careful where to add them in order to avoid making the whole thing look off. At first, I was a bit scared of starting with dark colors, especially at the bottom, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to add lighter layers on top. Luckily, it wasn't a problem. These paints are truly opaque, except for the yellow and some greens, as I mentioned earlier, but you can work that out by adding a bit of white or another color to them to make them more opaque. I used so much white painting that I'm already a bit scared about running out of paint already. But I think it will last me a lot more, and it's just me being paranoid about the paint quality. Some things that you have to consider while working with jelly wash: use a soft brush, as it will help gliding the paint on your paper. Too much water can make the paint difficult to work with. Find the balance. Let your previous layers dry completely before adding stuff on top of them, because otherwise you'll start lifting the paint you have below. Now I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of the painting process and come back later. that's it for my first adventures with jelly wash. It was a wild ride mentally for me. You can see how much I struggled, but in the end it was a great practice. Soon I will have the courage to paint a character though. That's one of my goals for the next time I use these paints. I hope you like this, and if you want you can give it a like to this video or not. It's no problem. So see you next time, have a great day and have an awesome week. Bye!